Hey, what's up, YouTube? I'm making this video to talk about something somebody said over the Teens for Satan uh, e-groups, and somebody wrote a topic regarding disabilities. Um, and the topic is called disabilities, and the person who created the topic is Oli Fortin. I'll post a link to this topic if anybody wants to check it out for themselves. But um, but anyways, this person asked the question: is there a real explanation about people who are born with mental and physical disabilities? Like, I don't know if there's anyone in this group who have them, and I'm not trying to single anyone out, but I've also been wondering, why are people born with these defects? And Lilith Crowley posted that this is something I'm interested in as well. My sister was born with an extreme case of autism. Does anyone know anything about this? And then somebody else posted. I can't pronounce this person's name, but it's like Examry Smith. But he said, assuming that it's a he, but he said people are born with disabilities because their chromosomes. Sorry if I spelt that wrong. Didn't function how they should when they were born. I learned this in ninth grade bio, so it's been a while. But if you look up more about chromosomes, I'm sure a deeper explanation can be found. And then another person wrote, and this person goes by the name non-stereotypical normal normalty at yahoo.com. But this person wrote, sometimes their chromosomes don't copy right. Other times they get one too many or one too few chromosomes. This is just genetics, nothing spiritual. Hail Satan, the true father. And then a little love, kind of like, emoji going on there. But but another person posted, a reason for the appearance of physical disabilities is in the chromosomes, and he goes on to give out some science, science shit, whatever, which I'm all for. I'm not denying the science of this, but there's a spiritual reason behind the science. And but anyways, this person went on to say, as for a spiritual reason, not sure. Um, but anyways, I just want to correct this person, and I'm surprised because I can hardly find any topics about disabilities such as Down syndrome or like severe cases of autism and all that. And and I know the high priests. I'm pretty sure the high priests and high priestesses, they don't go into much detail about this either. But but I tend to think that the reason why I want to say I know because the spiritual ties into the physical. You can't have the physical without the spiritual, and you can't have the spiritual without the physical. I mean, it's kind of like yin and yang. No wait, is it yin and yang principles? You can't have dark without light, and you can't have the metaphysical without the physical. All this, ties into each other, and same can be said about like disabilities and shit like that. I tend to think, cases like Down syndrome, and like severe cases of like autism is due to damaged chakras, like a very damaged sixth chakra or a damaged heart chakra. So be you know. Um, so to say that there's nothing spiritual going on is fucking bullshit. But yeah, I was almost tempted to create another account and then ask this question myself, like how is Down syndrome cured, and if somebody and is it possible for somebody with Down syndrome to achieve the Godhead, which I kind of doubt, by the way. And then I was gonna ask, like, what if somebody with Down syndrome made that dedication to Satan? Would Satan, how would Satan guide these people? How would Satan help these people? Would he even help them at all, or would he just kind of like toss them? I mean, kind of like just toss them to the side and forget about them. Um, I think these are valid questions to ask the Joy Satan Ministries, because according to Maxine and HoodedCobra, Satan and the gods, they meet you more than halfway, and they accept everybody that's a Gentile, and no matter who you are, if you're not a Jew, then they'll accept you. I mean, just as long as you're a genuine human being, a Gentile. And so surely the same applies to somebody with Down syndrome as well. So if somebody with Down syndrome made that dedication, um, and if they can't achieve the Godhead on their own because of their Down syndrome, will Satan go as far as to cure their Down syndrome? I mean, how would this work? Although although I kind of think such a question is kind of pointless to ask anyways, because these people have 100 different excuses, to follow after that one, and each one of these excuses can be refuted, I think, quite easily. So but the more you get down to that nitty gritty, the more people just don't want to listen, and don't want to acknowledge anything that you're really saying, and it all depends on the manner of how you say it too, I think, and in my case, with this alien parasite attached to my astral body, I'm never really I never really say it in a good enough manner to get my point across, to get that point across. And that's the whole reason why this alien parasite's on me in the first place. But yeah. I also want to say, before I end this video, is that it's very important not to get one of these astral alien parasites attached to your astral body, because if they get past your aura, if they get past your psychic self-defense system, then they very well can attach themselves to your chakras. And once they get past the aura, once they get past the psychic self-defense system, then that means they can, and once they do attach themselves to your chakras, then that means they can damage your chakras. And you very well could be one of these people that that die and then end up being reincarnated into your next life as somebody with Down syndrome, as somebody that has some severe mental retardation going on, or something, and that may be my fate, what may happen to me in my next life, and I'm really hoping that but by some very lucky chance or some shit that I get rid of this creature on me. Fat chance that I'm gonna find somebody that's gonna do it for me, because everybody's so fucking goddamn scared shitless of these aliens in the system that they're not willing to help out their fellow man, and they're not willing to make any real sacrifice as far as doing something that would change the world, that would change the playing field and all that. I mean, even when it comes to themselves, and taking, it doesn't necessarily have to be them helping someone else, or them, taking that leap of faith themselves, and then making shit really happen, and to the point where major change takes place on this planet. So and this is another reason why I think the Joy Satans really hush hush about these alien parasites, attaching themselves to people in the astral. Because I know I'm not the only one that goes through. I know I'm not the only one that goes through, and is getting in my way right now. Trying to make me slip over my own words and all that. But I know I'm not the only one that goes through this problem, and I've seen other people complain about the same exact thing in the JOSE groups. Although these people are few, and one such person is a guy named Blue Lion, who complained on the JOS groups about having one of these creatures on him as well. And I got a video made about him somewhere in my channel. I talk about him, and I post a link to his topic where he complains about this and all that. But I tried to contact the dude myself. I tried to write on that topic back when I was a member of the groups, and saying that I go through the same problem you're going through, and I can probably help you. I can give you advice to the point where you don't end up in the same place as I'm in now. And guess what the moderators did? Well, the moderators have to be the high priest, like HoodedCobra, Maxine, and all that, but they denied my post. And I tried posting to this guy's topic to get in contact with him more than a few times, and post denied, one after another, and so the Joy of Satan covers this shit up, and it's one way for these for the aliens that control this planet, that control this system and all that. They have their ways of making people shut the fuck up. They have their ways of silencing people. If they see potential in somebody and all that, and they see that somebody can potentially become a threat to them and their entire matrix, they will stop these people in one way or another. Whether it be like through physical death and making you get into a car wreck, so be some freak accident, or if it's or if it's something like in my case, them sticking an astral alien parasite onto your astral body, and then taking care of the problem that way, because what this creature does, and what it always did the moment it attached itself to me, is that it would get in the way of my meditations all the time, would make me lose focus. It was a constant harassment, and not to mention, it would make me crave certain situations, like back then I was really trying to avoid the people that I hunt around with and all that, mainly because those people were always doing drugs and doing shit that would would easily destroy your spiritual body, your aura, and all that. So the more I stuck around these people, the more I ended up doing drugs myself. And like I said, I wasn't no huge junkie back in the day. It's not like I did drugs every fucking day. It was more like about 2-3 times every 3 or 4 weeks, or like meth was my choice of drug, and it was never an everyday thing like the Joy of Satan would try to make it out to be. So it's nothing more than an attack upon my character to discredit me and make me look like a total junkie, to just to make me look like I'm a bullshitter. But it was never like that. And, the most I ever did that drug was probably 3 to 4 times every month, every fucking month. So so the Joy of Satan, saying that, oh, he's just some junkie, it's not true. But and I could probably, and I would be willing to bet that their high priest Salem Burke, who is also a meth head, and who was a fucking high priest, that somebody that Satan would choose to be a high priest, probably did more meth than me. Was probably a bigger meth head than I was. But anyways, yeah, you won't hear them. You won't hear them talk about that, though. You won't hear them bring up the fact that Satan would choose a meth head to become a high priest. I mean, why? Because it doesn't sound good, it's all about attacking somebody's character and shit. I mean, that's just another red flag that goes to show just how fake those people are. But yeah, and back when this thing was really controlling my mind and making me, influencing me to hang out with such people, to where I would be around drugs such as meth. I mean, how can you really fight against that? I mean, I have a closed third eye. We all do. I mean, most human beings, I want to say all genuine human beings have closed third eyes. I mean, our psychic senses are dormant. Most human beings for sure. And we're just at the fate of those who do have open third eyes, those who are psychically adept. I mean, you really, and when you think about this critically and logically, you really can't compete with such people, and knowing how they have such a great edge over you, such an advantage, then these people really can do some damage in somebody's life that is ignorant of these powers and all that. So I find it humorous when these Joy Satan when these Joy Satan people, if you even want to call them people, I tend to think a lot of them are alien human hosts. Like to say, well, if you weren't weak, that thing wouldn't have got on you in the first place. And it's like, well, it's like this thing could just, I mean, like a situation like mine, where I have an astral alien parasite attached to me. This can happen to anyone if they don't have an open third eye, and if they're not aware of their psychic ability to a good enough extent, and most people aren't, then this situation can easily happen to them. I mean, as well, So to sit there and say shit like that, I mean, it really exposes who you are as a person, and just how fake you are. I mean, you don't want to acknowledge how much this system, how much this alien matrix has against us, average people. So so go ahead and try to play it off, like it's mainly my fault. It isn't. I mean, the reason why most human beings are stuck in the fucking shitty fucking position they are in life isn't mainly their fault. It's the system that they've been, born into ever since they were kids. It's the system that has influenced their personality. The indoctrination of religion, all that shit, plays the role into how they become failures once they reach adulthood. So and when you bring this shit up, it's like the Joy Satan, man. They don't. I mean, it's right away. It's like they say their gods are there to meet you more than halfway, but they never show for it. And when you start to fail and all that, and you start to fall, right away, despite the psychic attack from these alien greys, despite the lack of help that you get from their gods, which they would say otherwise, and despite all of the shit that you've been influenced by their alien matrix, by their religions, by their TV shows, their Hollywood movies, their music, which is all filled with so much garbage, and their schooling systems, all the shit, their GMO foods and fucking, I mean, I can go on. It's still mainly your fault to why you failed, and I say that's bullshit. That's fucking bullshit, man. And it's a shame that there's not enough people that get involved with the GOS that sit here and really critically think about this shit. Then again, we're so hardwired to not critically think about shit anyways. So so in a way, I can't blame them. But yeah, I mean, more people need to step up to the plate and call these people out. But yeah, one last point I want to make, and this will be a very quick point. But yeah, if one of these creatures gets past your psychic self-defense system, your aura, and then attaches themselves to your chakras, then if they get past your psychic self-defense system, you can't vent. You can't vent the negative energy that you go through. I mean the negative moments that you go through, we all go through them, like anger, depression, sadness, and all that. And everybody needs to vent this shit out. Once one of these creatures gets past your aura, then you can't vent. You can't vent this anger. You can't vent. So this negative energy builds up within you, and the more it builds up, the more dirtier your chakras get, and the more dirtier your chakras get, the more damaged they become. So I think this is how they make people with. I really think this is how they make people with Down syndrome, people with severe retardations like autism and shit like that. It's through these alien parasites, and I think that's the reason why these people are called special in the first place. Whoever came up with that word, and I mean, it really makes you wonder what kind of people come up with these words in the first place. Because to me, a genuine human being that's genuine and real, would never call somebody with some severe mental retardation as special. If anything, they're the complete opposite of special. But who influences human thinking? Who influences us to believe these fucking religions and all that? These aliens do, and they're alien human hosts. So I really think that it's one of these aliens that fucking that got that, that get these words rolling, in the first place, that get the ball rolling for these words, for people to get these like, for people to attach words like special to people that are extremely handicapped. Well, maybe they were special, in their past life. In their past life, maybe they were a huge threat to this alien matrix, and then something like this happened, like in my situation. One of these alien parasites gets thrown on them, and then somewhere down the line, as it gained enough power over the person and their spiritual body, their chakras become damaged, and then they become, what we see today as, like people with Down syndrome and other shit, and these people, I truly think, definitely on some level, are damned. They can't achieve the Godhead. So so these aliens, they have their ways to silence people, and silence people perhaps for good. So so this is very important, not to do drugs. Especially don't do drugs, because that will open up a very big door for these aliens to get to you and to attach themselves to you on the astral, and then destroy you. And then you'll never be able to help anyone else. I mean, well, most importantly, you'll never be able to help yourself, because you can't really help anyone else unless you help yourself first. So yeah, I think, there's a small few people that are, that do have the potential to escape this alien matrix, and are smart enough to see through it, and these people in some way are special, and I'm gonna say in a lot of ways, and maybe more than one way. I want to say definitely in more than one way, but I don't know. I like to be careful with my words, because I don't want to totally sound like a jackass or somebody dumb, even though I probably sound dumb all the time because of this alien parasite on me. I do know I'm not able to express my intelligence as much as I want to because of this thing on me. So I do know that's true on some level, but that statement is anyways. But yeah, that's all I want to say. Yeah, that's it for this video.